If you're happy and you know it, you might be part of a cult sustaining yourself from the misery of others in organized fashion. Mr. Avocadoman here again, being busy with a bunch of things IRL. Recently I flew out to Yukon for the first time, for work, and loved it. The people were great, and the nature was as majestic as you would expect from the Great North. It got me thinking about how we as people migrated and made social mechanisms throughout time. Like some real deep stuff about how our ancestors probably put up the same traps and social mechanisms designed or thought up to make their way of life more difficult. The general idea of how sometimes life isn't always rainbows and sunshine, like people want the face value of it to be painted, but rather a game of chase the accountability. People in higher positions than you in life don't usually have to worry about this, as much tend to let the idea of it existing slip their mind when creating said traps for others. The truth is, you can't force people to be accountable, or force outsiders to notice a disproportionate lack thereof. But what you can do, as an individual expressing your freedom of speech and the fact you have attention span of the said human race species, is put the blanks in accountability out there, or prove how capable you are in regards to this. Sometimes, in an invite-only world, outsiders get a second-class treatment with the face value of something otherwise. Like, pretend if I was a cop, and I knew a friend of mine from the public sector whose kid broke the law and assaulted someone repeatedly. Do I tip the scales of justice and blame the victim to help the friend and their child out? Or use my powers of accountability to represent the work I do correctly? Personally, I try not to put myself in situations where I have to deal with the police. I'm a rather antisocial person in a socialist country, but once in a while you notice injustice that makes you question the accountability to the one's true behavior or actions. Like the movie Fight Club, but if a bunch of the Project Mayhem guys and gals were just working people in the public sector pretending they don't know what they saw or writing it down as different. Now this concept stretches to the idea history is written by the victors. But how much truth in modern history do we have with this method of skipping or altering details? Like, our ancestors had to fight to have the truth be in the history books or written down correctly with accountability to what really did happen in these time periods. Anyways, what I'm trying to voice here is use that voice to hold history, even the small everyday bits, accountable. Because it's up to us to hold history accountable. On another note, I'm starting something new on the channel called Story Mode. And it's literally just going to be a storytime YouTube thing, but for Papa to share some knowledge of some real life memes that I grew through. Maybe you'll learn from these experiences. Maybe you'll realize I'm just another person going through the same adventure of life, just also leaving notes like a good Dark Souls lobby, so you don't have to deal with the same salt that gets tossed around, or at least can have the knowledge with you to season the roast right when life hands you a basket full of pissed off snakes and all you wanted was an equal chance at said life. I am Mr. Avocadoman, and I hope your story mode is a wonderful playthrough. Peace.